Hey, this is Mike Ragogna, and you are at the very first, Fairfield 2.0. The name may change eventually, but I think what we've got right now is the setting for a show that can introduce not only the talent in Fairfield, but everybody in Fairfield. I think everybody needs a chance to get in front of the camera and tell their story, because this is the most fascinating town I think anybody's ever come across, and ask Oprah. I want to start off with a couple of our finest musicians in town, our finest young musicians who hail out of the Beauty Shop, and I think everybody is familiar with the Beauty Shop. It's a gathering place. It's a clubhouse, but it's a gathering place of a lot of the young people in town who are artists, who are literally graphic art, painting art, all that, sculpture, musicians, singers, and even those who like to go check out a movie on a big screen once in a while. It's really got a great vibe. If you haven't been there, you should go there, and they have an incredible tea and coffee selection, so you should head on out for that. But today we have two great guests, two of my favorite folks in town, wonderful talent. The guy in purple. Joey Del Rey.
Hey.
Joey Del Rey, how are you?
I'm doing right. How are you?
I'm pretty even today.
Okay?
That's a pretty even kind of day. Even though we had snow out here, which by the time this airs, it'll be like summer. And
That's right.
That's right.
We had I got some hat hair going on.
We have hat hair going on.
Take off my sweater.
Joey convinced me not to get the red baseball cap because of my obvious shine up here. So I want to thank you for bringing me along.
I'm going to have hat hair.
And then I better have hat hair.
Someone's got to have it, yeah.
We also have Lane Weaver with us today. Hello, Lane.
How are you doing?
Okay, how are you?
Wonderful. Doing good. Just got off a tour with Lil Ruckus.
All right,
for last month, so doing good. Got a beard going.
You got a beard going. You're sporting a beard. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the Little Ruckus tour.
Yeah, we did a southern. It was my first time ever on tour. It was Lil Ruckus came out with his release "We Love Evil," which I was helping him with and helping him put together promotion and.
Great title, by the way. I think it scared a lot of people in town, but.
Yeah, people didn't know necessarily how to take it, but it's not like anything like mean or hateful or anything like that. It's sort of the whole concept of it is embracing all parts of life and not separating anything else out, and not being like, oh, that's not me, but this, it's all me, and we love everything, like whatever, bring it on, we love
bring it on.
And
that album, by the way, talk about having all the talent come through Fairfield 2.0.
Yeah,
that album has virtually all the young people in town on there. Even old people are on there.
Old people
shouting and holding signs with my rabbit ears.
Yes.
That was a good moment. I loved that.
Yes, it was wonderful. Everybody was in costume, and it was great. We had people from all over Iowa, a bunch of great musicians, tons of people. Ames, Iowa City, just tons of people. Joey was there.
Yeah, I was there. It was madhouse.
What were you wearing, Joey?
What were you wearing? Yeah.
I think I was wearing kind of like a weird blue polyester jacket that was made to look like kind of like it looked kind of like George Washington.
Yeah, it was like the little Sergeant Pepper-ish thing.
Yeah.
Did it have circuit boards on it?
No.
Okay.
It didn't have circuit boards.
That one's one of my favorite, along with the telephone pants.
Right, yeah.
The ones with I don't know, did you get to see those?
We saw the telephone pants. And also there was someone who did not sport a costume. There was Naked Guy.
Oh, yeah, he wore the cup. He wore a styrofoam cup, yes.
Cool Z.
Yeah. He's out in California now.
He's in Southern California?
He's out in California, yeah, repping Fairfield in Iowa.
Nice.
So.
All right, so you were at. So I talked to you about the tour.
Yeah. Oh, so we went up north. We went to Chicago. It was with this other band, the Terror Pigeon Dancer Vault, which is really awesome. You should check them out if you haven't. They have a website. It's, I believe, the Terror Pigeon Dancer Vault band. I don't know. You can Google them. They're not hard to find. You'll know the website when you get to it. It's real crazy and has lots of animations and makes you want to die. So they're real awesome, really interactive, really fun, really lighthearted. Similar feel to Little Ruckus, really good pairing. And we went for the first 3 weeks. We went with them and went all the way down to Florida. We did 4 shows in Florida. It was really awesome. And then we went back up through North Carolina, went over to Missouri. Really awesome show in Kirksville, which is cool because it's really close. So they have a similar setup to what we have at the Beauty Shop, with a small DIY space and a bunch of young kids. way younger even than us, and
Really?
they're yeah, it's crazy. They're
Wow.
running it, and it's like super awesome. It was packed, bunch of young kids. Everyone was really loving it. A lot of really good energy. So definitely going to be going back there. But overall, a really good tour. I mean, I'd never been on tour before, but I thought it was really awesome, and it was very encouraging from my experience because we didn't lose any money. We made some money, so it was
Wow.
like. So
How many
might as
days-
well keep doing it.
Might as well keep doing that.
We're
How many-
doing Europe next. We're doing Europe after
On
the
to
summer.
Europe and
No,
Japan,
I'm
the
serious
Japanese-
though.
oh, seriously?
But, yeah, we're gonna do Europe.
And don't forget Japan.
Well, yep. Well, Europe
I wanted
first.
to do Japan.
We're gonna do Europe, and then we're gonna come back and do a U.S. tour of hit up all the colleges. So
Nice.
that's the plan.
Little Ruckus and Lane Weaver do Budokan.
Yeah.
That would be the way.
Yeah,
like Cheap
yeah.
Trick. What is your? Let me ask you, as far as the amount of dates that you played, it seems endless. How many?
Yeah, we did. I mean, we were on tour for like something like 30 days, and we did like 25 shows. So it was like almost every night.
That's
Well, actually,
amazing.
one night we did 2 shows in one night, so that was pretty awesome. It was really awesome. It was like we played this coffee shop. I think this was up in Fargo, North Dakota, and we did a coffee shop, and then we loaded out and then loaded into this bigger venue, similar to like Gabe's in Iowa City.
Yeah.
And that was really awesome. There was a ton of people there that really liked it. Everybody was going crazy. People were crowd surfing, and I remember Dom at some point took a thing of water and poured it all over himself, and then he was oh no, I shouldn't have done that. There's so many electronic
Electrical
things.
things.
Yeah, a lot of electronic things, especially
Whoops.
with the Terra Pigeon Dancer. Well, they have when we were on tour with him, he had these huge inflatables, like a giant snowman, a giant Frankenstein, and they have like strobe lights in them that go off at certain parts. Really fun stuff. Really cool.
Nice.
It was a really good experience.
When you go on the road and you have that and you're seeing the snowmen and you're seeing what are you thinking as far as like if this is a learning experience? You're going 25 days and you're picking up stuff, including maybe from the club with the kids that were younger than you, from the equivalent to the beauty shop. What kinds of things are you taking back with you, and that maybe you're tempted to add to your own sort of acts?
Well, definitely like picking up on the message that the Little Ruckus and the Terra Pigeon have, which is like just all about positivity and hope and inspiration and just like following your dreams, which is also what I'm all about too. But really seeing that makes me want to bring it more into my work as a thematic presence. So that was cool. But also the way that they do their live performances makes me want to do my live performances in a similar manner. That's something that totally awes people and totally gets people involved, and you can't not be immersed in it.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. And as far as when you were talking about thematic before, I've seen many of your performances now, and I would say that you vacillate between what I would say is an outright, straight-up musical performer with rap, because you have the tracks and stuff, to a performance artist.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
a performance artist.
Yeah, I'm
so
really
that's
into
why
that.
that was why I asked that question. It's sort of like you're seeing snowmen, you're seeing all this stuff. It's like, I know your brain is going to like, how am I going to whack this out a little bit more, you know?
Yeah, oh man. And I mean, they're totally performance artists too, Neil and Dom. I mean, they're always
Yeah, they are.
climbing all over things and hanging from the ceiling. They're always talking about how, like, Neil was always talking to Dom and being like, oh, I hate it when you play before me because then you climb on everything and then I can't do it because it'll look like I'm just copying you. But, I mean, they both do some really crazy stuff. We were in Des Moines, I remember, and Neil, during his set, he brought everybody into the boys' bathroom and did part of the song a cappella while the track was still going in the other room. And then was
Kyle,
like, come on, guys, let's go back in the other room. And then, like, everybody goes in, everybody's singing, and he really gets everybody involved in the group choruses and stuff. So it was, I mean, that's I want to write catchier songs and move more in a poppy direction. So,
That's the thing too. You're not just about rap. You're also about about singing.
Yeah,
You do
yeah.
singing too.
Well, I don't do singing so much yet, but I'm going to move in that. Yeah, I'm going to move more in that direction. I want to be, because honestly, nowadays, rappers. If you're just a rapper, you're not going to be that amazing. I mean, everybody that's big in rap also does singing, and also it's hard to separate the rapping from the singing because it's both the same thing. It's just using your voice.
Yeah. Who are your favorite rap artists right now?
Well, right now, I'm into Kanye West, of course. Let's see. The Diane Tour just came out with a new album, which is awesome.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. I don't know. I have a lot of people. Honestly, right now, who I've been listening to on tour. I really got into Lana Del Rey.
Lana Del Rey. Everybody's into Lana Del Rey.
I love Lana Del Rey.
Now, Lana Del Rey's story is that she kind of had millionaire parents and all.
Oh yeah, no, I mean that's not the important part though. It's all about.
But she's still good. You're right.
It's awesome. I really connect with it, and it's one of the main things is the production, and the production is actually by Emil, who is the guy that did Kid Cudi's first project and also produced Kanye West's "Runaway." You know that song? Did Emil do? He did the whole Lana Del Rey,
but he also did.
And that's why there's all those.
The reason why I'm asking is that I thought that Dr. Genius.
Oh, Dr. Genius did a lot of stuff too, but I believe that Emil was involved with his first mixtape, like his whole.
That first mixtape, yeah, okay.
And it makes sense when you listen to the Lana Del Rey because it has so much hip hop influence, like and all the vocal chops, louder. Yeah, I had to go find those and get them and start putting them in my tracks.
So Lane Weaver.
I don't know if I'm gonna have to clear them or what, but
oh yeah,
maybe I'll recreate my own.
They'll find you. They'll hunt you down like a dog.
I know they will.
Where's my 2 cents? Where's my 2.5 cents? I also wanted to ask you about, I'm sure you guys. Let's talk to Joey for a little bit here.
Yes.
Joey, you're involved with a few different things. You're involved in so many things. Also, this is like this town. Hello, Fairfield. I just want to. These guys and most of the people at the beauty shop, they interchange in each other's group and in each other's groups, and it's like a learning. It's like a school is what's
Very
going on. The beauty school is what I used to be calling it. And it's a collaborative sort of thing. And in fact, some of them are living in a school. What is that? What is that environment? How are the mechanics of that?
St. Mary's.
St. Mary's.
Yeah, St. Mary's. So basically, you got to go into how the beauty shop started, and
I
wasn't actually there. It was Phil and Dom.
I was here for that.
Rabelais Lane.
You were there too.
I was
here for the
but I
first
wasn't
show.
really involved. I wasn't the first show. I wasn't really involved, but Lane was there. They wanted to start a venue, and so they started running out of the space that we now know as the beauty shop. And
the first show was upstairs. It was like in
that's
one
right.
of the
That
office
was which band was that? That was the band that just.
It was like Spooky Nights.
Yeah, that was Spooky Nights.
Yeah,
I think.
Spooky Nights.
Yeah, I was there when it was just in an office.
Yeah.
Anyway, they started wanting to
crazy.
have shows because here back in the day there wasn't many places to play if you were a certain kind of band. The only
There's
thing,
nowhere to play.
There was nowhere to play, so I was.
And we're talking about indie-ish alternative music, right? As far as there's no place to play if you've got that
Yeah,
kind of
well,
style.
I mean, I was.
It was before the Sondheim. It was before.
Yeah.
It was like the only places were like Morning Star and like open mics at Cafe Paradiso.
And Paradiso, and that was the only place that I played was Paradiso, and that's why I was writing and doing so much acoustic stuff at that time, is because that's what there was to do, and. And if you wanted anything bigger, it was Morning Star, but it was kind of weird. You had to rent the space, whatever. So these guys wanted to start a venue. Turned into what we know as the beauty shop. It's a big hit. Everyone thinks it's a big hit. And
it was a big hit.
It's a big hit. It's a big hit. And and they just wanted to expand it.
Yeah.
So they bought St. Mary's, basically. The Bonnell Project is the kind of overarching
That's the financial institution
entity,
that oversees
right?
everything.
It's like a nonprofit or something. And so they bought St. Mary's, and the whole idea is that they're just going to use it for space for people to do projects. So there's a few people living in it, but mostly...
It's like artist studio space.
Mostly it's artist studio space.
A lot of different things going on in there. They have dance going on in there. There's Chris is in there. He's a master ceramicist. He makes ceramics. He's teaching classes.
Yeah,
nice.
It's great stuff.
People can come in and make pieces and fire them, and he has the whole setup.
The wheel, everything. He makes his own clay there. To everything to a green screen room down.
Green screen room. We shot a music video
downstairs.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
The Little Ruckus video. We just painted the whole thing green. Shot a video down there.
Yeah.
There's lots of stuff. There's also Paul Moorhead's in there doing animation. There was I think there still is the textile stuff, so people doing sewing and stuff. And there's actually the Eco Jam's going to be in the basement. Coming up, so that's going to be really cool, and hopefully it'll be really awesome. I've been talking with them a little bit and trying to get them to involve the visual artists around Fairfield. To make it really awesome, big installations and stuff.
And they're down. So the idea is that they've got space. If you want to rent it out and use it for a studio, if you've got an idea and you've got time to put into it, then talk about it and do it. And it's kind of the same concept as as a beauty shop Bonnell was. It was all kind of like, well, if there's enough people with enough motivation, just do it.
Right.
And around here, you know, it works out. That's why, you know, you were saying everyone's in everyone else's band or stuff is because there's only so much stuff to do. You know, it's a small place. So eventually you just, you know, you're all here. There's only so many people doing so much stuff. So you're like, well, why don't we all just do
Stuff.
Yeah,
Together,
why don't we all
yeah.
just do stuff together?
Yeah. And it's like, because it's almost like you've been having a nonstop music residency for like as long as this entity, for as long as Beauty Shop and as long as you guys have been. I mean, a lot of you guys grew up together. So you've been making music forever. You've been making music for a long time and evolving in each other's. I mean, like, you're learning from each other. I was asking you before, what are you picking up from the road? Well, what are you guys picking up from each other is probably the better question. And that's the more personal question. I kind of like that. I like the family element of what's happened with the musicians at the Beauty Shop. And by the way, that's one of my favorite things with Dom and Phil, is that they are such brothers. They're so tight, and it's like, you know, when you do a performance and they're doing the whole, you know, we are brothers thing, it's like, that is unusual. You don't see that anywhere. You know, usually it's the exact opposite, where the brothers hate each other. You know, they're all fighting for the limelight. But in this case, you guys have really gelled as a unit almost, without even thinking of it like that, without even having. And you did have the CD. You had the CD bedrooms, and as I like to say, broomsticks. It's not that, bedrooms and basements. And that was a really beautiful project to get to. I guess it was a fundraiser for the Beauty Shop, but also it was an introduction to all the acts.
Well,
how did that come about?
That's really when everyone was like, wait a second, there's a bunch of people doing a bunch of different stuff here. We should work together more. And that's when that happened, and it actually kind of started to happen because of Arthur Leland. Actually, is because he wanted to do this show where half it was him and then half it was him playing with people around town, where he would do his renditions of people's songs, but they would come in and sing it or play it or whatever. It was their song. So like, he did one of mine. I sung that one and played guitar on it. There's a few other people, and after that,
so there was a night like that?
There was. That happened. And after that, I think a bunch of people, we all had an after party at Phil's house at the time, and we just said, well, yeah, why don't we play together more? And why don't we do this kind of stuff? Why don't we do this? So the idea was to put out this CD, because the Appleseed Studios, which is it's under Owen's direction now.
Owen Blake, right?
Owen Blake, that's right. The idea was to use
and
that.
It's one less interruption, and it's downstairs. Beneath the Beauty Shop.
It's a great,
expanding right now.
Expanding. It's already a great recording studio, and it's just expanding. It's awesome. So the idea was, why not use that studio to create kind of a compilation CD of all the stuff, or some of the stuff that's going on around here, and then do our own big kind of variety show of that at the Sondheim. And so that was a long project, but everyone pulled through, everyone did it. Everyone went in there and recorded, got their stuff on the CD, got it made, and did the whole show, organized it all themselves. And
nice.
So that was really the beginning of a lot of collaboration, I think.
Nice. And basically Steve Cooperman and Roland.
Roland Wells.
Roland Wells. It's the
magician.
They've been sort of it's the team of Beauty Shop with those guys, right?
Yeah, they're like the Bonnell Project kind of guys.
Yeah.
And they're awesome, yeah.
It's amazing. Roland, I've had conversations with Roland Wells, another guy we should get here one of these days. Absolutely.
I think he moved. Is he in Italy though? No.
What?
Well, do you know about this?
No.
He's moving to Italy. He's going to be there for like an indefinite amount of time, I think. He's learning Italian, and he just is going to like live there. Like he went on vacation, and then he came back. He's like, "Well, yep, I'm not coming. I'm going to go back to Italy."
We'll be doing the Skype interview with Roland Wells at some point.
Can't blame him.
But that's amazing. That's great. What part? If it's anywhere near Venice, I may be visiting.
I have no idea. Yeah, I'm sure.
My heritage comes from a place called Udine, which is up right on the Swiss Alps, right on the border there. But the closest place is Venice. But enough about me. Joey, we have not talked about your music yet. Let's talk about your music. Where did it all start? Don't leave anything out.
I grew up in Seattle, and I just love music, and there's so much music out there, and I just started going to shows when I was a kid. That's just what you did, there was so much music, and started putting together bands, as a kid and with all my friends, and so I've been playing actually for a while.
Yeah. And what instruments were you? I mean, guitar.
Obviously. Yeah, guitar and keys. Yeah. But I was mostly doing electric stuff then, and then moved to more like acoustic stuff kind of later.
Yeah.
And
who were some of your favorite acts?
For what kind? Oh, in Seattle?
No. Who inspired you? Who were the acts that were like you were mimicking? As young Joey, as younger Joey.
Young
young.
Joey was even more sarcastic than old Joey. So like back then, everything I kind of did was kind of a commentary on itself and how kind of ridiculous it was. You know, I think it was really intense. You know, we were young and we were definitely playing rock and roll, but it was never supposed to get too serious in a way. It was always kind of making fun of itself, and I don't really know who influenced me in that direction.
Well, I mean, even musically, was it the word? Everybody defaults to the Beatles, but I don't want to really go there.
No, I was into
Probably Bach.
Yeah,
Really?
Bach,
Very
totally.
Bach.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was so.
I thought you were a Ravel kind of guy, but
No, back then I was into some weird stuff. Back then I was into Black Rebel Motorcycle Club.
here you go.
back
That's
then.
what I'm looking for. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, when that was their first
Joey,
album.
tell them about your band that you got, like the FBI, right?
Oh yeah, the first
This is
band.
the best.
The first band I ever started. We were really young and we wanted to call it the Registered Sex Offenders. And so we were like, yeah, you know, we had a website, all this stuff. Next thing we know, we get a letter in the mail from Homeland Security. I was like, you can't call yourself that. And we got shut down as the Registered Sex Offenders. That was the first incarnation. You know, went through many incarnations.
We could get political right now, but we won't.
That's
We'll save that for my shows on Crew. Okay.
right. So yeah, and you know, then I ended up in New York a little bit and ended up here. And just because I was by myself, I think it moved in more of like a kind of solo acoustic kind of direction.
Yeah.
It was more of definitely an introspective time.
Okay, now, all right, so Seattle to here, right?
Yeah.
So Seattle bands are not, well, Seattle bands are going to have alternative. You're going to have an indie type of thing there, but you're also going to have a lot of what happens here. You're going to have a lot of acoustic stuff here that you experience here in Fairfield, also in Seattle.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
this was a progression for you.
Yeah, well, you know, in Seattle there's a big folk and bluegrass, and all that kind of thing. You know, the Fleet Foxes.
Yeah.
From there,
Oh,
all
yeah,
that.
yeah. Love them.
So that was definitely an influence, and you know, as cheesy it is to say, you know, later years when I went more acoustic, Bob Dylan was a huge influence, and that was actually because of Seattle. And
Favorite Bob Dylan song? Quick. Don't even think about it. No thinking.
Don't think twice, it's all right.
There you go.
Don't think twice, it's all right.
Okay, sorry. You were saying.
But
Good answer. So we have our 100 contestants.
so you know, and it was because of people there performing his stuff that I wasn't exposed to yet in a certain way, you know, and so there's that certain vibe there that was definitely an influence and always has been an influence. But you know, it's a lot different. Like it's pretty like competitive, and it's all about who you know there. And I actually just came from back there, and the scene's a lot different, you know, and I enjoy it a lot more. And it's interesting that, you know, in terms of like quality of art, I think, you know, this place, other places I've been around, are way up there. But it's just because there's not as many people, just because there's not as many venues that they're not on the map. It's not necessarily because it's not a destination. That's what was amazing to me. You know, it's just there's just sheer volume.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
eventually someone hears about it.
Right.
You know, but in terms of artistic quality, it's I don't know. You know, I was kind of
It's
bored.
it's not Fairfield.
I was bored. Yeah, I was like, whatever. Yeah. So.
Well, we were just talking off camera earlier at Everybody's. One of our finest establishments in Fairfield, this being Fairfield 2.0. We were just talking a little earlier about
Get a
that.
sponsorship.
Yeah, is there any reason to plug them? Can you get
Hello,
anything?
Paul.
Are they going to give you stuff?
We're plugging Fairfield.
Right.
So the you hear that, Fairfield? One of the things we were talking about earlier was the whole. It's kind of boring out there compared to Fairfield in a lot of ways, isn't it?
Yeah, you know what I found about people when I went back to the city is that everyone is kind of like a little bit more like digested, like, and they're kind of equalized, you know, and they were very boring to me. Whereas out here, you know, everyone just kind of knows each other or something, and they just get wackier and wackier as time goes on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Yeah.
and so when I went out there, it's just, you know, I was like listening to people talk on the ferry boat or whatever. It was like, oh
Yeah.
my god.
That's like right.
Yeah, it was just, oh.
Yeah.
So
We theoretically have 5 minutes left, but I think we
Okay.
should have 35 minutes left. I'm not sure. How's the engineer feel about? Oh, thumbs up. We got it. All right, Fairfield. This is an hour show now. Here we go. We have a lot to talk about. We're not done
true.
yet with you, young men. Let's talk about. Okay, so you get back to Fairfield, and definitely you feel the difference. You feel the There is an outside world, and then there's Fairfield. And it's not that this is too insulated, although it is. Objectively, I would say this is an insulated town in a lot of ways. In a good way, in a very good way.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Right? What are your thoughts about that, this being insulated?
No tornadoes, earthquakes,
All right, there's that.
volcanoes.
Volcanoes, especially volcanoes,
good.
that's right.
Volcanoes, yeah.
We have a lot of good luck here. We have a lot of good. It's like
Good
you were saying,
people.
good people.
Good
Good
people.
people,
Definitely
and
like good
fine
people.
establishments like like our new sponsors.
Yeah.
But
I think the thing is that the scene here is I don't know. I think it's a lot just like what you're saying, a lot less influenced, by everything
Corrupted,
else.
maybe.
Corrupted, yeah. So I don't know. I see
and that's
people,
not to say it's naive,
right. I see
or
people
innocent.
here. You're in the middle of nowhere. So when people here do stuff, they do stuff because they love it.
Mhm.
It's not necessarily I want to become a big Seattle band and be cool and all this stuff. You do
Right.
stuff because you can't do anything else. And so it
Yeah.
kind of creates what I've seen is like a little bit more of a genuine kind of scene.
Right.
And therefore you can get stuff that's a lot more different or a lot more unique or personal almost.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's something I've really come to value, I think.
Well, and that's what we were talking about earlier with the musicians. You guys are close. I mean, in particular, but also the musicians in town are a close breed,
Yeah.
and the young people in town are a closer breed than I've seen in other places. There's no real competitive is the word, I guess. There's no real competitive atmosphere here, which is wonderful. It's like because you guys aren't cutting each other's heads off trying to be quote famous. You're not even interested in that. It's more like if the art happens to or the product. And I'll say product because you guys make CDs, etc. If the thing becomes elevated enough so that it's successful, or if somebody lucks into having, something in a movie or something like that, those are very cool things. But that's not the objective here. You guys just love making music together and hanging out together and all that, and taking it a bigger step. I'm saying that because you can identify with that, having lived that kind of lifestyle. But taking it one step further, that's Fairfield. Fairfield is a community where the closest I could think of is Doc Hollywood. Did you see the Michael J. Fox movie, Doc Hollywood? All right, never mind. That's another century. That is another century, actually. There are a lot of the engineers laughing his head off. All right, Jason. Yes, I'm old. What do you want? But I wanted to bring up that point because I think that Fairfield is a large community of people that are really trying to live in each other's lives, because you can't help but see the same people 10 to 30 times a day.
Oh, yeah.
As you're turning every corner, as you're driving in your car, as you're going to the local Hy-Vee and Walmart, and I guess that's about it. As far as where large groups of people congregate,
Yeah.
you can't help
I
it.
only
You
go to
can't-
Noodle House.
Oh, well, then, you don't
That's all
really
it
see
does.
the crowds.
Sometimes
There's a window there.
A lot of people go to Noodle House.
It's the best place in town.
It's a great place. Oh, future contributor to Fairfield 2.0. We're going to do a piece on Noodle House someday.
Nice.
Yeah, that's how we're going to do this.
I ran into Pooh at the bank today.
Oh, man.
No way.
Yeah, there's your connection right there.
Did you guys high five?
No.
Oh.
I should have.
You should.
It was rude of me not.
You got to get on the high five
I
basis.
know.
Right about now that we're so friendly, we probably should have a little music, shouldn't we? And I see a guitar sitting right there.
Well, how much time do we have?
A lot of time.
All right. All right.
No
well,
ducking out of this.
This
Joey
is the part
Elliott.
I was the most nervous about. I know I haven't been playing my own stuff in a really, really long time.
So play like a Beatles song or a Jim Croce song. Okay. You don't even know who Jim Croce is, I bet. James Taylor. Have you heard of James Taylor?
I know Jim Croce. He's like a big bad. What's that song?
Why am I so old? God. And it's bad. Leroy Brown.
Yeah, that's the song I was talking about.
They knew.
I did. I know.
Well,
Okay,
let's just
we'll
do
move
that
on.
one.
We just showed my age. Okay.
I know oldies.
Yeah, look at.
If it weren't for Jim Croce and Partridge Family, actually, I wouldn't be in the music business. But that's another story.
Whoa.
It's true.
Well, who's gonna interview you? Someday.
No, we don't want one.
Everybody's gonna
That's
slowly
right.
interview
That's
him.
right. Slowly, we'll just compile all the footage.
Who are you? What are you doing here? Why did you come here? All right, time for a song. And on that note, time for a song.
Here we go. I haven't played this one in a long time, so it's gonna be interesting. And people seem they liked it, when I used to play it. I think that's what they said. So I'm gonna play it again.
We have the Judgmatron on over there, so don't feel nervous or anything.
Right. And this one's called "Sweep the Kitchen." Baby, you're dressed up pretty. Are you going out? I've seen your old friends back in town, and I can see your body's aching for his bones. I guess I'm not enough to keep you home, but I don't have the strength to throw no stones. Just turn the lights out when you go. Well, they say the world ain't gonna stop from spinning. Your life could fall to pieces, but you'll just keep living. Yeah, the world ain't gonna stop from spinning. So I guess I'll go and sweep the kitchen. I'm gonna. Hiss to me your lies, I know you're creeping. Show me that sweet smile when you know I should be weeping. But baby, I'm not surprised. I saw the news today. Some had love and some had money. Sometimes I feel like a fool in tow. At least the floor will be clean when you go. 'Cause they say the world ain't gonna stop from spinning. People can be crazy, but you don't owe me nothing yet. The world ain't gonna stop from spinning. So I guess I'll go and sweep the kitchen. It looks like you're only passing through, and you're gonna do what you're gonna do. Can't pretend it don't sting just like a lick of salt. Baby, I gotta tell you how I feel, it's not your fault. Because the world ain't gonna stop from spinning. There ain't nothing out there to lose that was ever gonna keep me happy. The world ain't gonna stop from spinning. So I guess I'll go and sweep the kitchen. I'm gonna sweep the kitchen. Ain't nothing left to say. Well, I'm gonna sweep the kitchen. You don't owe me anyway. Well, I'm gonna sweep the kitchen. Ain't nothing left to do but keep moving through. Keep pushing through.
Very nice stuff. Jason, what'd you think? Jason, a thumbs up. Nice. Joey, that's great.
Thanks.
Joey, that's a really sweet song. What,
Thank you.
all right, let's get into the song for a second.
All right.
All right, let's get into its history. What inspired it?
Actually, it was funny. The song evolved for a while, but it started when I was at work at this job, and I was working, and I was looking out the window of my office, and this ambulance pulls up. And after a while, they bring out a stretcher into the ambulance, and for some reason at the time I didn't really think much of it. I don't know why, but later I found out that this man who'd worked there for a long time and everyone loved just died. Just off the bat, just died. And the guy who told me came in. He was this really good friend. He known him for a while too, and he was in shock, So he was just kind of laughing, and he just told me very matter of factly, "Yeah, I found him, whatever," and kind of laughed. And then I was in shock, so I just kind of kept working. But I noticed throughout the day, I'd like go, to do something, and I remember, my friend sitting there making copies, and she was just crying as she was making copies of something.
Yeah.
And that's, I think, where the song kind of started.
Yeah, the mood of it.
The mood of it kind of started, It was like, well, yeah, it happened, but, what now? You're just going to keep, everything just kind of keeps moving, Everything keeps going. And I realized that it applied to, other things. If I was, if I was going to get upset about something, it could be anything, like some political thing or whatever. Well, what's it really mean to me? Am I not going to wake up the next day and just keep going? And it occurred to me that there's some kind of like responsibility in that.
Right.
Like you have a responsibility for, yourself, and everything else is just going to happen. Mm-hmm. And nothing is, anyone else's fault. You're just going to keep chugging along. You're just going to wake up the next day. You're going to do whatever it is you do. You're going to tend to things. Yeah. And even if those things change. And that's where the kind of idea for the song kind of came up, and it kind of changed over time and became Sweep the Kitchen.
Mm-hmm. A similar mood. I mean, you've got the character in that song is also moving along, moving through life, and sort of keeping the priority spikes even keel, realizing, well, it is all about, it can all be reduced to sweeping the kitchen. What's more important than the thing you're doing right now?
Right.
Even,
You can feel like your life's over, but it's not. And it's not necessarily, I don't know. It could have had a much more positive vibe. I could have put that spin on it, I think, a little bit more, but
I don't, with that melody and with those chords. I mean, that did it exactly right on.
Oh man, that was the tour. Oh man, we got
for those at home
who want to tour.
For those who at home who want to play this song, where's a couple of the chords on that?
Well, I was playing in a G formation, but it's up in it's in D flat. Okay. I think, and just standard stuff. G, D7, E minor, C. Just a few different variations of that. Yeah.
All that. Lane, are you in agreement with me where it's like you forget because this guy's an artist? Oh, Fairfield, I have to remind you, we are Fairfield 2.0. We're interviewing Joey Del Rey right here, and we're interviewing Lane Weaver, and so a couple of our finest musicians in town, and rappers. We have to put the little. Okay.
Rappers are musicians.
I'm an artist. I'm not even either.
That's right.
All right. But my point, where I was going with all this was, Joey and I played at, and Lane, you were part of this too. Didn't you do the Springsteen night also?
No, that was Dom.
That was okay,
Dom.
right, okay. So we were all together. We were playing this. We were playing a Springsteen tribute show, and where I was going with this was that you're an artist. It's obvious, and you have your all your original songs and stuff. But you forget sometimes this guy is a great guitar player. And I was singing. I was lucky enough to have him back me up on Fire. And I did a falsetto part.
I
was goofing around with this thing. Thank you. But I was goofing around, and I looked at the video afterwards. I didn't know what was going on in back. I was just having a good time, whatever. So I look at the video later, and I'm seeing this guy all decked out in '80s Springsteen with the bandana and the T-shirt and everything. And he's keeping beat to the. He's doing this to the beat. And then when the falsetto parts come in, he's mouthing the falsettos. And I'm like, that is so cool. I wish I could have seen that night when you were doing that. It might have thrown me off.
Well, I'm glad you liked it.
It was really cool. It was great. And then also and you're playing. I mean, let's really get there.
Thanks.
You have been, and you're in a lot of the productions in town.
Yeah, I actually think I'm not that great a guitar player. I think a lot of people think that I am because I'm involved in stuff.
You're in the Trillionaires or Quadrillionaires?
Yeah, Trillionaires. Just started the Trillionaires. It's with Johnny, David, and Adrian.
Uh-huh.
But I'm barely keeping up with those guys. But I'm involved in stuff, so I think it's easy to kind of fool people.
I don't know about that.
It's all about fooling people.
It's all about fooling people. Yeah. But thank you.
I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed with we were talking about it earlier, the musicianship of Fairfield is just, it can be off the charts sometimes. I mean, Eddie Raines.
Oh,
All right, I'll just mention a name, and it's like, ooh, Eddie.
That's
is
someone I got to talk
amazing-
to. Actually, I want to play with Eddie.
Eddie's amazing, a great saxophone player, and also you've got the Hurlin brothers, who, as we were talking about before. Adrian, of course, Doug, her father. We've got a lot of amazing talent in this town, and if you were to I used to say if you throw a stone, you can hit an artist or a musician in Fairfield, but it's really true. We have so much. Our population is so huge. Now, Doug, I have to say, and this is now the shout out to Doug Dowler. Hi, Doug. Here on Fairfield's 2.0. Doug is the musician's musician as far as he charts out a lot of stuff. He's the main arranger for a lot of things. He keeps everybody in line. I've experienced that too. Everybody has their little Doug moment, which is great because he's a teacher too. In addition to all the great stuff he does. But Doug has a good. His attitude is that if you're a musician. We're always playing free things all the time, but if you're a musician, you got to get the mindset of got to get paid for your work too. Mm-hmm. Just like anybody else in town who does something, you got to get paid for your work because we have this. That's the thing is this town is so close and this town is so friendly with each other that the tendency is to oh yeah, I'll do that for free, and no one wants to upset that apple cart.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, there is also the attitude when people need musicians to do other things for them, and not just friends asking a friend to do it. They assume all the musicians in town come for free. And that's sort of the mentality that I wish could change. That's the one thing I wish would change.
It's starting to change. I mean, people are starting to pay for...
Yeah, I think
that's right on with that.
I think it's just a little different, because if I was in a bigger area, people would come out and pay to see something because they wanted to see it. They were literally, this is a service that they liked enough that they're willing to go pay for it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And here it's definitely on that level, but everyone just kind of knows each other. So it's like, of course I'm going to go see the show.
And
of course I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
Right, and of course I'm going to go, do backup and whatever. And I think just because of that, it can get a little funny.
It's incestuous, which is good and bad.
Yeah.
It's the point is that if there's something where there is money, the tendency is let all the money go to whatever the thing is, as opposed to, let's also take care of the musicians. That's all. And everything is, there's so many tributes and so many, this for this cause, for that cause, that there's the mentality among the musicians also is that they're a little sheepish about even asking for money. But that's just my little commentary here about pay your local musicians if you would. But let's get back to Lane for a moment here. We've already had a performance by Mr. Joey Del Rey. What does...
I could do some rapping. I could do an acapella.
You could do an acapella?
You want me to do an acapella?
Very cool. Yeah.
Okay.
And what's its name?
Oh, it's just some stuff.
Okay.
Just some raps.
Stuff.
Just,
That's what it's going to be.
Stuff.
That's what it's going to be now.
I'm rap's finest. Address me as your highness. Accounts in the mindness. I stay positive. What other kid demolish it every time that he spit? I'm so hungry, y'all could see my ribs. I ain't meeting with friends, I'm making meetings with ends. You'll find me listening to stems. I'm in your offices, shredding all your documents that you really need if you ever get audited. I'm at your vacation house, straight up auctioning all of your good stuff. The rest of it I'm tossing in the dirty, nasty garbage bin. I'm poking holes in all your pens. I'm on the computer where you're still logged in and I'm starting arguments with all your friends. I'm in a disguise, dressed up like a gynecologist. My hands up in your wife. Sorry, my apologies. It's just some stuff.
Very nice.
It's a little risque, but not as risque as it could be.
That's literally Lane's life.
That's my life. It's just
technology button.
I only spit the truth.
I've seen it.
This is great. Was that spontaneous?
Oh no, I mean some of it is like
I mean,
most of it is stuff that I've written though. Like,
it's cool, and then you do like you said, it's like bits and pieces. You put it all together. Have you done? How often do you do freestyle? Like, do you rehearse? Do you rehearse? How does that? I want to. How do you do this?
Well, I don't freestyle as much anymore after I broke the world record for it. So
That's right. Let's talk about that.
yeah. So I broke the
Guinness
world.
Book.
Yeah. Well, someone actually broke my record already. So
That's a big
it's
bummer. I was really
Yeah, I
surprised
know.
that
It's
happened.
but whatever. I mean, it's.
Talk about that
I'm
night.
drinking this other water. Is that okay? I'm sorry. I don't know who's.
I've got
Oh,
like some
okay,
China
this-
Cola, actually.
Well, no, this is fine.
China
This is my-
Cola, a fine product.
This is
in
my
the
second
world.
one, but I don't know. It's good. So yeah, I rapped for 10 and a half hours at the beauty shop in September and broke the world record for the longest freestyle rap.
Yeah,
Since then,
nice.
someone else has broken it, but it's like whatever. Who cares?
Where does this person live?
In Texas. It doesn't matter. He called me on the phone. He's totally chill.
Really? Sorry.
Yeah, he's
Wow.
a chill dude. So yeah, I don't freestyle as much anymore. I write some stuff. I don't know. I've been getting more into production, making more beats. But this next couple months, I'm going to be doing like a lot of songwriting, like making beats to writing lyrics to just like going with stuff and like figuring out a bunch of songs and then figuring out which ones are good. The good parts, making just something really, really tight and really awesome. And I'm going to be co-producing it with Dom and Phil.
Nice.
So
Nice,
it's
yeah,
going to be
yeah.
like really awesome. And then we're going to go tour Europe.
Don't forget Japan.
Get
yeah.
big in Japan.
I know, but it's so far. I don't know. We'll see.
What are you going to do with? There'll be there'll be a CD, obviously. There'll be the whole deal that you're going to need to promote.
Yeah.
Now, what ways will you be promoting
I'm
it?
actually going to find someone to give me money and hire a publicist.
There you go.
This is the plan because I feel like music is just like any other business, and it's the same thinking. If you're going to start a restaurant, you can't start a restaurant with no money. You have to have some initial investment. Right. So I'm going to try and get $5,000 and hire a publicist and spend a bunch of money on publicity. Get on some big blogs and then play a bunch of colleges and make my money back.
But word on the street is that you're a genius.
I'm not. I am not a genius
That's
publicist.
the word on the street.
I know like a little bit. I know how to get Facebook likes and stuff. So I mean, I'll do that part, and I can write a press release and all that stuff. But I don't have connections. That's mostly what you pay for in a publicist, and I don't have really any connections. So I'll if I can find someone to loan me some money, I'll do that.
Well, there's also a lot of there are so many other. You do have a lot of options. You have those sites which will Kickstarter. You have all sorts of sites that'll actually back a project initially. You'll get your $5,000.
I'm probably not going to do a Kickstarter or anything. I'll probably just find someone that's wealthy that has
a sugar mama or
well,
daddy.
no, it's just like $5,000 is not very much money to someone that has like a lot of money.
Right.
And if I can present them with a product, like I'll put all my money in initially for the mixing and mastering and stuff, and I have friends that I can get to do like we can make something very, very high quality. I mean, all the stuff that you've heard so far is like really good, and so I don't see why this would be any less than that. So just gonna make something really, really quality, really good. I mean, I'm making the best stuff that I've ever made, and I know a lot of I feel like everybody else is making the best stuff that they've ever made too. So I don't see why this wouldn't be the best thing ever made. and then it shouldn't take too much convincing to get $5,000. It's not that much
best
money.
thing ever
I think it's a good model.
Artists.
I want the best thing ever made.
Like there's tons of artists that are making like $30,000 a night. Easy, like that's just their guarantee.
Yeah.
Like there's this kid, Mac Miller. He's like 18. He's a rapper. He's an indie artist, and he makes $30,000. The last year, he made $30,000 a night. Played over 200 shows in a year. And
where did he put? But is there a paradigm?
now he's going to be making $100,000 a show every night and playing 200 shows this year.
Is there a paradigm to look at? I mean, is there something where you see, okay, he's played here, he's played there. This is where I'm going to play.
I don't know. I'm going to play wherever. Probably colleges, definitely. Colleges, because colleges have a budget to bring artists in. Yeah. So it's not just. It's easier to get money from colleges, and then you can make it work. So.
Yeah, the budgets for student activities will pull a lot of that in. I feel like I had the opportunity, and I still will. I'm imagining it kind of fell through this first time around to do a music business course over at the.
Don was talking about that, but
I wanted him, and I wanted him in the
He was
class.
excited.
I would have loved to have taught him, but the problem is we didn't have enough students this time out because I think nobody understands. The problem is that music business now means something else. Music business doesn't necessarily mean the old school version of what the music business is, because those are like dinosaurs falling apart, dying off. But the new paradigm of what a music business is it's the business of music. Yeah. So the real emphasis in a course like that or in something like that should be, well, okay, how do you actually make the money? What's the practical element here? And a lot of this has to do with the social networking. It has to do with, now you mentioned publicists before, and that's sort of where with the Huffington Post, when I do the Huffington Post contributions, I get deluged. I get 100, 150 a day of publicists trying to, solicit me to do an interview or a review or something like that of one of their acts. And of course, they get the business from the major labels. So, and they also get business from folks like you, where they'll charge a major label something like, $30,000 for a campaign, but they'll charge somebody like you $1,000. Yeah. Just because and where is their heart going to be really? Mm-hmm. Their heart's going to be with the underdog for the most part. A lot of these publicists and a lot of these people that are doing that kind of marketing. So I think that, a lot of the artists. I don't know. It might be a. I don't know if it's a mystery anymore, but I have a show on solar powered Crew FM, which is at 100.1 in your FM, whatever that is, and Fairfield, Iowa. But the thing is and I'm going to ask you guys this question too, by the way. So get ready to think about what your answer is going to be to what's your advice for new artists.
Okay. Okay,
but one of the things that happens over and over in these interviews is that the artists they're all stuck in the middle now. They don't know what the future of the music business is, and they know it's not what's come down already. And a lot of them have entered at a point when it's real new and it's real like, it's about it's only about social networking. It's only about placement and play. But that's where I was exactly going. That's exactly where I was going.
It's about social marketing, social like engaging your fans socially. And
that's socially engaging them. Yeah. That's a social network.
Yeah, mm-hmm. And then playing shows, because that's the only way you make money. Why is anybody going to pay to hear something that they can hear online for free?
Yeah, exactly.
Everybody. Yeah, it's just how it works.
Yeah, a studio recording now is almost like a promotional device. You've got to have a career based on something else. Yeah. Yeah. And where I was going before was that yes, most of the artists are now saying they're one of their big advice pieces of advice is. Get out there, play all the time, as play at dog washes, play wherever you can get yourself out there with an instrument or not an instrument. You want to sing a cappella? Get out and go sing the national anthem at your local high school basketball game. Just do anything you can to get yourself out there live and get in that environment of making your art, being creative in large groups of people, because that's your social networking. Mm-hmm. They are not. Facebook is as cold as Facebook is wonderful. All these things, Twitter is wonderful.
Emails.
All this
it's
fun.
All about getting
emails is all that.
But it's all about getting
those
emails.
people. You can actually.
Well, Mike, I'm ready to sign up for this course right now.
Alrighty, all right. So if you want to sign up for this course, this fictitious course that hopefully will happen. But let's get just a couple of words from both of you as far as advice for new artists. And you are
I'm a
new artist, sort of, yeah.
Yeah. You go first.
I would just say do what you're wanting to do a lot and really refine your vision and what you want to do and figure out where you want to be, what your goals are, who you want to be, and then take all the little steps to get there and do it every day. And just, if that's what you really want, then just do it all the time and don't do anything else, because it's a waste of time to do anything else. And not necessarily just playing live wherever you can. I would say more really honing and refining some kind of package to present to people, because then if you're really skilled and have a lot of talent and are able to show people and do cool things that people haven't heard before, then people are going to listen to that, as opposed to just someone that plays around a bunch and isn't very good. So it's about being really good and then just going really hard all the time.
Going hard all the time, which is what you guys do.
P. Diddy said, if you're chasing your dreams, you're not running fast enough. Yeah. It's such a good quote.
Nice line, yeah.
Yeah.
Joey.
Oh, wow, you kind of stole mine. on that vein, I have to say, I think, really finding out what you love, like what you were saying, and doing that, because the moment you really decide to do it, there's a lot of work associated with it. It's what you like, but there's a lot of work. There's going to be that day where you're like, oh man, I just want to watch Netflix. I could do that, or I could do this other thing, and you're not going to want to do that other thing, but maybe, in the long run, that's actually what you really want. So it's about having the motivation to get yourself to do that. And, it's like you were saying, it becomes an everyday thing. It becomes work. It becomes a job. And there's a lot of this kind of stuff that you have to figure out. You got to get better, because as Phil Rapley says, no one else is going to get you there.
Yeah.
And even if it's not, for
time.
everyone else,
Yeah.
at least do it for yourself. Because I think the more that you kind of go in this direction, the more of yourself is available to you to work with. At least that's what I kind of found.
Yeah.
And I'm still just kind of trying to figure it out, but that's been my thing. It's do the work, I guess.
Do you find yourselves mentoring? Do you find yourselves in a position where you're seeing like,
Oh,
I get mentored all the time. Because
Joey's lying. He's the big mentor.
I get
I was sensing that. Yeah.
I'm like, I need to have Phil tell me exactly how he made the new Animal album, because
That's right.
It's all about that lighter sample.
Yeah.
We recorded those in my room.
Did you?
Yeah.
See, genius.
Okay, and in addition to that, we also have to throw out the shout out to Surgery, who will be interviewing.
That's right. That's my big project right now, Surgery.
Yeah.
All the time.
We've got and of course in the Fairfield tradition, we have to have a Rabelais in there.
That's right.
Yes.
and we have Joseph Mayfield.
The half animal Rabelais.
That's right. Half tiger.
Nice.
Part wild child.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Raised by monkeys.
All right. Well, it looks like we may be out of time soon enough. We do have a couple of more minutes. So let's wrap it up with words of wisdom. What were the best? No, not you giving words of wisdom. We already had the advice for new artists. What are your favorite? What you said with P Diddy before?
Yeah.
What are some other words of wisdom that you really kept in?
I love words of wisdom. I'm all about
Just
wisdom.
take it.
I'm sure that Joey's got some really good ones too.
Just take it.
What was I was gonna say something about Steve Jobs. Oh, Steve Jobs says that you have to be crazy to be great at something, because any normal person would just give up. They'd just be like, whatever, like this is too much for me. So you have to be really in love with whatever you're doing, because otherwise you're just gonna not do it. And yeah.
And luckily, one of my favorite Dylan quotes is that what is it? You can't be sane and in love at the same time.
Nice.
So there you go. You can just get two birds with one stone.
There you
On
go.
your way.
That's the way to end the show, ladies and gentlemen.
Have a weird life.
That's great words of wisdom, and thank you very much for a welcome to the first Fairfield 2.0 with Joey Del Rey and Lane Weaver, a couple of the great talents in Fairfield.
Thank you, Mike.
And we're gonna
Thanks.
anytime
for
definitely
having
come
us.
back. We'll do this again, absolutely.
All right.
And Fairfield, let's do this again, and take care. Thank you for everything. Thanks for keeping the show on the air.